Look closely at the window beside your airliner seat, and you'll find what looks like a manufacturing mistake. A tiny hole, drilled straight through the pane at the bottom edge, in a cabin pressurized against air thin enough to knock you out. Why would anyone put a hole in an airplane window? That window isn't one pane. It's a stack of them, and in normal flight, only the outermost is carrying any load at all. The popular explanation says the hole is a pressure relief valve. Surely you'd seal everything tight and let two thick panes share the strain. Instead, engineers cut a hole in the middle pane on purpose. To understand why, we have to go back to the most beautiful airliner of 1954 and the crashes almost everyone gets wrong. The de Havilland Comet was the world's first jet airliner. It cruised at 35 to 40,000 feet, and its cabin held a pressure differential of 8.25 pounds per square inch. In January 1954, one broke apart over the island of Elba. 35 people died. In April, a second disintegrated near Naples, killing 21. You know how this ends. Square windows, cracked corners. That's why airplane windows are round today. It's a lovely story, and almost every part of it is wrong. Comet windows were never square. They were rectangles with rounded corners, comparable to a Boeing 737s. And when investigators at the Royal Aircraft Establishment traced the fatal crack on the Elba aircraft, it hadn't started at a passenger window at all. It began at a rivet hole beside a small antenna cutout in the cabin roof, above the cockpit. Punch riveting had left ragged holes full of microscopic fractures, perfect places for a crack to be born. Hadn't de Havilland tested this? They had, and that's the maddening part. Before fatigue testing, they proof pressurized the test fuselage to twice its maximum cabin pressure. That overload cold worked the metal at the stress points. Then they ran the fatigue test on that same hardened airframe. It survived 18,000 cycles. The real aircraft over Elba failed on its 1,290th flight. To prove it, engineers sank an entire Comet fuselage in a water tank and pumped it up and down. After 3,057 cycles, it burst from a bolt hole at the corner of an escape hatch. So, before the cabin pressure equalizes, if this is scratching the same itch for you, a like helps more people find these stories. Subscribing keeps the hidden logic coming, and the comments are open for the next absurdity you'd like explained. Because the crack in the roof isn't the point of this story. What it changed is, the Comet inquiry changed a philosophy. Before 1954, aircraft were built safe life. Predict when a part will fail and retire it first. The Comet proved you can't always predict, so the industry moved to fail safe. Assume any part can fail at any moment and require a backup that takes over. Today, it's written into the rules. An airliner window must hold cabin pressure even after any single pane fails. And that is what the hole is for. It isn't a relief valve, it's the opposite. By connecting the gap between the panes to cabin pressure, it forces the thick outer pane to carry the entire load and leaves the middle pane carrying nothing. Boeing's own patents describe exactly this. Sharing the load would give you two half-worn windows. The hole gives you one working pane and one perfect spare that has never worked a day in its life. If the outer pane ever fails, the spare takes over just long enough for the aircraft to descend. The hole does let trapped moisture out of the gap, but it's a two-way street. The panes vibrate in flight and pump humid cabin air back in, and Boeing later patented a damper to fight the fogging the hole itself can cause. Even the fix needed a fix, so the little hole isn't a flaw. It's the visible edge of a decision made after two aircraft fell out of the sky. You don't design a machine hoping nothing breaks. You design it assuming something will. That's what the hole is telling you every time you press your forehead to the glass.